Mobley Show. I am Joe Mobley, your host and the original uncloseted conservative. Guys, thank you so much for joining. It's going to be an awesome show. Lots of content squeezed into a little teeny tiny container. We're going to be talking about the obvious mocking of Christianity, which is also to say mocking Christianity isn't really about us, the Christians. It's about the mocking of God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, and just making a mockery of creation, which is kind of what the transgenderism is all about, which is, we'll get into later, but just so we're clear, that is a blasphemy. The only form of blasphemy is not saying there is no God, or that the God of Jacob and Isaac and Abraham isn't God. That's a form of blasphemy, but rejecting it. Anyway, we'll get into that stuff later. We're going to be talking about the left's weird campaign and how cringe and off it is. Kamala Harris, JD Vance, men beating down women at the Olympics, and a whole bunch of other stuff. There's this huge list in front of me. So I'm excited to get into it. You should be excited, and all that is starting right now. Woo! I made it. I tweeted out the show before the freaking intro ended. I'm getting better, guys. Yeah, yay for me. Hey, if you want to help the show grow, a couple of things you can do. You can pull out your phone. If you're not watching on your phone, you can download you can subscribe to the podcast. That helps a ton. However you're watching, however you're listening right now, go ahead and like the episode, share it out with your friends. We're not on YouTube, but still, sharing is the number one thing that you can do. It breaks outside of the algorithm. If you really, really, really want to be super gung-ho, you can go to the website. You can find out a lot more about the show there, but you can also buy merch. Very happy to see that the Trump Strong and Courageous shirt is doing very well. The maroon shirt is temporarily unavailable because I'm doing some, which is my favorite. This one's my favorite, but I'm doing something with manufacturers to make a pink one available again because there are a lot of women that watch the show, which is great. Thanks for being here. But whenever I don't include pink as a color, I get messages about it. So it's coming. Hold on with the pink Strong and Courageous shirt. And the last thing you can do is support the sponsor of today's show, Attorney Shield. Guys, we say it all the time, don't talk to cops. Well, it's not really that simple. Don't talk to cops. There are situations where you actually have to talk to cops, like when you're pulled over or when they knock at the door and they've got a warrant. Well, here, Attorney Shield allows you to let your attorney do the talking. It's that simple. You download an app to your phone. Anywhere your phone goes, your attorney goes. And when the lights go on, or when the do knock at the door, police, open up. When you hear that, you can click this app. It's a big red button. You hit it and a FaceTime call opens up with an attorney who's licensed in your state. They've got your information loaded in, your name, your birthday, all the information that your attorney would need, and they can speak on your behalf. They can tell you what you are compelled to answer, which is almost nothing. And otherwise, they can speak on your behalf. Guys, getting into this is super affordable, with plans starting at just $8.83 a month. That's under $10 for the individual and just under $20 for families. This is worth it. I have an attorney, and I still subscribe to this. I pre-ordered this before it was even actually launched. I've done the test call. I've checked up on the advice that they give, and so far I'm super impressed with the service. So to get it, just click on the link below, or you can type it in. It's on the screen. It's attorney-shield.com. Use code SHIELDME at checkout. You get a discount, and it's an affiliate link for me, so it helps the show when you use it. It's attorneyshield.com. It's attorney-shield.com. Promo code SHIELDME. All right, that is a mouthful. Samantha, how are you doing?
I'm good. I was about to take a nap, just like sit back and for all the ad reads, and I was just like, just text me when you're done. But
oh, is that my phone going up now?
Yeah, exactly. Just like, wake up. Yeah, I do have to say that I'm going to join the women that are complaining about the lack of pink in your t-shirt selection. So, ladies, I got you. I will be sending reminders that we need pink in the lineup.
There are plenty of pink shirts. The sassy shirts come in pink. The Joe Biden 1-star would not recommend, which I've heard your request. I used to have a Kamala 1-star would not recommend shirt. I took it off of the shop. It's coming back very, very soon. I promise by next week it'll be back. But yeah, that comes in pink. Uncloseted Conservative comes in pink. Just some of the cooler ones, I guess, don't come in pink. Anyway, you can't make everyone happy. What are you gonna do? All right, so you've been globetrotting, and now you're home.
Yeah, it's interesting. We went to Utah to help my mom in her house. And oh,
sorry,
is that me?
No, that was me. I was opening the Twitter so I could see the comments.
I was like,
oh no, your audio cut out. Your lips are moving, but no sound is coming out of your face. Well, sound is coming out of your face. I just can't hear it. This is like the reverse of a talkie, where the guy's like, look at how the sound comes out perfectly in sync with my lips. I heard like a poppy sound, and now I can't hear you. Maybe try the old mic click. John Galt, you need to come on my show, AM Morning Business and Trading Talk. Man, John, I used to day trade back when I was in the Army in between PT and First Formation. So that brings me back right there. But yeah, I'd love to do that. Just shoot me a message. John, all the time that I've seen you, I can hear you, Samantha. All the time I've seen you on CT's show, I did not know that you did trading, my man. But that's urban landlord for you guys that want to look out for. All right, I can hear you, I think. Yes.
Okay. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. I might need to get a new microphone, so we are going to try and make this one work, and then I will put it on my list. I will get a new microphone.
It might just be the cable. So I rock a Blue Yeti as well. I bought two because I'm paranoid. But so the first mic is still good, but my first cable is gone. I had to break out the cable from the second one, which is, I don't know.
That's the problem.
But
we're gonna have tech issues.
Yeah, I got a new mic. It's awesome. I just can't figure out how to get it to work for this purpose. I've gotten it to work for recording guitar videos for my other channel, JoJo Dancer, on Rumble. But yeah, it's a Rode NT1. It's awesome. It's just not working. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Oh, I know. It's a love-hate relationship.
Always.
Anyway, yeah. So we did. I was just saying, we went to my mom's help paint her house. No one's ever going to ask me to paint their house ever again because not a skill of
house.
Mine.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, like the outside of the house. It was challenging. Yeah.
Wow.
Not. I mean, you're welcome, Mom, if you're watching. But It looks great from about half a block away. And then as you get closer, you're like, this was not done professionally. So it's okay. And then we went to Colorado for a wedding, and I'm not even kidding. When I drive through Colorado, because I have like a Let's Go Brandon sticker on the back of my car, and I have like We the People Are Pissed on the back of my car. So clearly, you can see who I stand for. I am always legitimately worried that somebody in Colorado is going to slash my tires. Like, thankfully, it hasn't happened, but you just never know, especially when you drive through places like Boulder. So
That's how I feel when I'm in New York City and if I'm in or around Baltimore. Baltimore is such a crap hole now. Why are you guys still voting for all black Democrats everywhere? The police chiefs, the councils, the school board, it's all black liberals. And I mean, Baltimore being a crap hole was literally the point of the show The Wire, like back in the 90s.
oh
And
my god.
nothing's changed, guys. Like, what are you doing in Baltimore?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand, but it is what it is. I mean, you get what you vote for, unfortunately.
Didn't they have a baseball player with the Orioles get stabbed? Let me see.
Probably.
Oh, well, so I typed that in. Vigil last week, teen stabbed over the weekend to death in Baltimore. It's like, which stabbing are you looking for?
Right.
2 days before that, teen stabbing at the 100th block of North Front Street. Like, yeah, no. Miss me with, are you kidding? 2 days before that, a 16-year-old was stabbed. What? Stop stabbing people in Baltimore. What are you guys doing?
I know. Can we talk about knife violence? Like this it's getting out of hand, guys.
Okay, 3 days before that, July 11th, which is my sister's birthday, 14-year-old dies from stabbing on MTA bus in Baltimore. Like, yeah, so that's it. Not going. Yeah, anyways, that's not even one of the stories. Let's get into the first story. Guys, if you were watching the Olympics, you're either nuts or you're doing a labor of love, because I stopped watching sports a long time ago. Olympics used to be something people could come gather around. Used to watch, I think the last holdout for me was some of the swimming and basketball, but now I'm completely off it. And boy, am I glad that I am. So let's talk about activist artist Barbara Butch, which, what a name.
Yeah.
I believe that this person is a woman. I don't believe that this person is the T letter of the alphabet nonsense. But it is interesting that her last name's Butch. But yeah, I probably changed it. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know the
Yeah.
girl. But here's the thing. It's obvious. It's obvious to anyone that has two brain cells to occasionally rub up against each other that they were mocking Christianity and the God of the Bible with the opening ceremonies. It's painfully obvious, and so we're clear, this, I believe, chick just lied about, I had to take a picture of this actually because the original tweet that I saw disappeared. But if this wasn't the Last Supper, which they're saying it's not, they're saying it's like 5 different paintings: the War of the Gods and the Feast of Dionysius and some little known artist from Italy's brother's cousin's uncle's friend. They're saying it's all of these things. Now, it's very obviously the Last Supper, as proven by her own, not tweet. This is her Instagram. This is her Instagram while the opening ceremonies are going on. And it says, oh yes, the New Gay Testament, and tagged a bunch of debaucherous, horse and heathens here. Don't look at those accounts. It's not good for anyone. It's not good
Yeah.
for the internet or mankind. But I mean, up into and including this little, hey, oh, my mouse is not showing, is it? This little halo around Butch Barbie's head here. And I looked at several of the paintings. The only one that has a center figure surrounded by 12 people is the Last Supper.
Mm-hmm.
So, unless I'm retarded, and of course there's the pale horse, obviously a nod to Revelation and the four horsemen of the apocalypse, and the pale horse whose rider is death and is leaving a trail of death and destruction, which leaving a trail of all of this debaucherous sex nonsense and LGBTQ and all of the things that go on in Olympic Village that I think you all have heard of. I think the pale horse is probably apropos, but this is nonsense. And for them to say, "Oh no, this isn't about Christianity. This is nothing. Don't get your panties in a wad," they're lying, and they can lie because Christians. And I hate to be identified with this part of the group. Christians are spineless cowards who have misapplied the doctrine of turn the other cheek to say, do nothing ever. Everything that happens, God will come down and do himself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. As far as, Christians and standing up for ourselves and whatnot, I don't know about you, but on my personal social media accounts, I have had so many people share first different interpretations of this imagery and this display, trying to justify it, saying that it was a bacchanal, some kind of, a Greek party with all of these people getting ready to celebrate. There were all of those types of symbols. And I'll get back to that in a second. But I've also seen a lot of people share things as far as, what we stand for as Christians, pointing to, again, as you just said, turn the other cheek, but also a lot of people making the point that God or that Jesus Christ would have dinner with these people, that he wouldn't turn them away, that he sat with sinners, that he, and that I don't even, that's not even the point. It also says, God will not be mocked. It's not like people seem to get hung up on this thing. We're taught to love each other. We're taught to forgive each other. We're taught to overlook sin and just accept people as they are. And people seem to think, completely misinterpret what those things mean, but they seem to think that that's the only thing God ever taught us to do, was to love. There's a whole slew of teachings that we're taught as Christians that don't allow for this type of mockery. And that would, as I said in one of my posts about this, I'm like, my Christian faith also says that these people are going to burn. Like, you can't mock God in this way. You can't take, especially symbolism, when it comes to one of the most significant events of Jesus's ministry, which was, the Last Supper, the night of the, when they came to get him to take him to, can't think of the guy's name in the what starts with a P, Pilate.
In the what?
Sorry, it was like the guy that starts with the, okay. Anyway, all of these events that were so significant to his ministry, like, you can't just put this out there and mock God and expect God to be like, it's fine. It's fine. Like, just take it. In fact, God instructs us to stand up for ourselves, to stand up for him, to defend God's name, to defend Jesus's name. And that's on us when we don't. We are the ones that are going to be held accountable for not doing that. So it's not about loving these people. It is about preserving what we stand for and not allowing people to do these things. And it is completely spineless when people try to find all of these excuses to not say anything about it.
What I came up in the WWJD era with the bracelets and all, and I thought it was fine until I became a Christian, and then I realized Christians are committing not a Christological heresy, maybe like a Christological, a doctrinal fallacy. Christians are acting as if there is a hierarchy or a pecking order of the Trinitarian God. And at no time should you ever consider what one part of the whole would do, because what Jesus would do and what God the Father would do are categorically different. Case in point, Jesus does go, and the Holy Spirit does go and commune with believers in their brokenness, or non-believers just fully steeped in their sin. Jesus didn't, but Jesus could have gone to a whorehouse and witnessed to those people. God the Father cannot. He actually can't be in the presence of that, and not because he's too frail and feeble and weak, because all of that gets destroyed when he is present. It can't exist there. It can't look at him. It's expelled by it. How does that work? I have no idea. But yeah, so like if God came down to deal with this, then poof, this would have all disappeared. This little party right here would have just into the lake of fire. They go. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, hey, it couldn't happen to better people. But I know a good amount about what Jesus would do. I also know a good amount about what God would do. And those people are the same. And that's something like Christian, like my brothers and sisters, you guys are driving me crazy. The same God. In the beginning, I am the beginning and the end. There is nothing but like I am that I am. That's God, that's Jesus, and that's the Holy Spirit. Like, am I reading the book wrong? Like, so many of you have been at this for so much longer than me. I got saved my senior year of high school. But, I mean, I can read. Mm-hmm. I know, I'm black. I'm not supposed to be able to read. But I can. Like,
I'm sure there's lots of pictures in there. It's fine.
Yeah.
I think that people forget the reason for forgiveness. I mean, partially and accepting and loving people, partially it is for us so that we're not, poisoned by hate and, all of these things that are going to bring us down and make it more difficult to have a relationship with God. But forgiving and being kind to people and loving people, the purpose of that is to bring them to Jesus so that they can change, so that they can become better. It's not to excuse the thing that they're doing. It's not to just let it go and just give them the idea that what they're doing doesn't matter. It's that, that we will welcome them into, our sphere so that we can show them kindness and so that they can feel that love and perhaps be more curious about who God is and who Jesus is and explore that journey for themselves and hopefully have that relationship in order to become a better person. But it's not, I just think it's ridiculous to say that Jesus would sit down with these people and not expect a change of heart at all, like, and have no purpose for that other than just sitting with them. I don't know. I could be off the rails, but again, to me, it's just a lot of Christians coming up with excuses so that they can feel better about not standing up against these things.
My opinion, based on observable facts, are that the Christians of today, God's people of today, are afraid, they're spineless, they're cowards, and they try and cover it with cherry-picked and theologically misunderstood understandings of the Bible, of scenes and of scripture, like turn the other cheek, which one isn't even talking about something that's truly threatening, like war or like any type of actual adversary. It's talking about someone striking you out of anger. Someone is emotionally outraged. Anyway. And they cover it with words like meek and humble and Christ-like. And I'm like, no. Jesus Christ would have said something about this. He would have gone up to this dude and be like, hey, my guy.
This is not okay.
What? Like, what are you?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So absolutely. But I mean, if we want to go back to like the argument as to whether or not this was the intent of this artist, because that's really, a huge part of what people are arguing about. This guy is a well known artist. This guy has, because they're not just going to give this job to anybody. They're going to give it to somebody who knows his stuff, who's familiar with French culture and French history, because that's really what the opening ceremonies are supposed to be about, is about the culture and history of your country. But of course, he's queer, so he had to make it all about the LGBTQ stuff, because that's what they do. That there's no way that someone that is this well known in his industry as an artist is not going to see these similarities. And something that just kind of struck me is that I believe that he fully understood what he was doing, and it's bad that he was mocking Jesus Christ and his disciples. But what came after that makes it that much worse, because he was directly representing, Christianity, Jesus Christ and his disciples descending into this evil ideology, like
Yep.
using the most vile, disgusting ideas and taking like one of the most, sacred symbols of Christianity, and using that and descending it into their depravity.
100%.
Yep. So I guarantee, guys, Jesus would have an opinion about this.
Yeah. So to take it into another direction, into the next topic, the left is making a campaign out of conservatives being weird. So we've moved away from just Christians. We've opened it up to conservatives, and a lot of Christians are liberals and good, level-headed, just left-leaning people. Good for you. They have opinions about welfare and blah, blah, blah. Even though God says that you, the believer, should take care of the orphan and the widow, you interpret that as the government should do it because you're dumb. But I'll say misinterpreting scripture instead of saying you're dumb. It's a wild misinterpretation. But they're making a campaign right now out of us being weirdos. JD Vance is weird. Donald Trump is weird. Both of these men, icons. Millions of people want to be like Donald Trump. Everyone did until he ran for the Republican Party. If he ran as a Democrat, could you imagine the world if Donald Trump in 2016 ran as a Democrat? Like,
I don't know if he would have gotten the nomination, because he would have gone against Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, so. They would have given it to Hillary still. He would have won the popular vote just like Bernie did, and they would have said, "No, we're the party of democracy, so we overturn the vote and install our own people
that we want, regardless of how you cast your ballot." Yeah, because democracy.
These are the people calling us weird. How did we get here?
I don't know. And I mean, here's the thing. I mean, just the word weird, like, in my opinion, it's not even like that bad of a word. I mean, it can be, something just weird that happens, or someone says something weird. It can be something that's funny. Like, it's not a bad thing all the time. But yeah, so it's weird that they would go in that direction, as if it's just that's going to be the thing that's going to sway people away from voting for Republicans. Like, they're just weird, and it's like, okay, like, that's all you have. But yeah, obviously, like, the irony based on everything that they have put out, like, front and center, from the White House to our kindergarten classrooms. I mean, millions of examples over the last 3 years of things that are beyond weird, that are just outright disturbing. It's just not gonna work, guys. But I mean, I did have a thought about this the other day. Like, I really do think that this is targeted towards the more uninformed voters, and perhaps like Gen Z people that aren't really in tune with what the voters of each side of the aisle really talk about. What people that don't make an an intentional decision about an intentional decision to mislead people about who we are. Like, the media knows full well that we're not weird, that we're not crazy, that we're the ones of logic and sanity, but they make the intentional decision to paint us in a completely different light. Whereas other people that aren't paying attention they're going to hear weird and not be familiar with who we are, and they're going to think, oh, weird. So that's just kind of my theory on it, but because it's strange.
I know this is an ad hom, but aside from queer blue guy, the person in pop culture who is one of the lovely ladies of the View, couldn't speak more highly of them, is Whoopi Goldberg, who doesn't have eyebrows. Like, we're being called weird by people that don't have eyebrows. Like, that's weird, and we all accept it. No one is making fun of, no one is denigrating this one, but she's had a brilliant career. She was in Sister Act and all this other stuff.
But yeah.
Are we living, I never entertained this, what if life is a simulation? But are governments, is some sociologist just doing an experiment with us and just trying to make us go insane? Because I wake up and there are all these like gay trans people dancing at the Olympics dressed as Jesus. And then Whoopi says, yep, nothing wrong with that. And then she turns around and says, a white man who's married to an Indian woman who has kids, who served his country in the Marine Corps. Weird. But all of this degeneracy, nothing weird at all. Adults having relationships with children, people getting stabbed every other day in Baltimore. That's all normal.
Well, and maybe you're onto something a little deeper there, because really, like, all of the woke ideology is really anything anti-traditional, anything, anti-conservative. And so they really are trying to make it so, having a nuclear family, like growing up and getting married, doing all the things that we have come to expect as normal in society, even down to, adults not having inappropriate relationships with children, all of these things that they have tried to normalize. They really are trying to make us and what we believe and what a normal functioning society believes as the weird thing. So,
but who does that work on? Like a child? Like a 12-year-old?
People that think men can get pregnant? I don't know.
Well, it's a bunch of adults. No, you're right. No, you nailed it. Because everyone in the workplace will say, of course a man can get pregnant. But he can't. But a man can't have an opinion about abortion because no uterus. And it's like, wait a minute. But you just said I could have a baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Or I'll say, oh, we just had our 5th child. And people will be like, your wife did all the work. And I'm like, how do you know I didn't have the child?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, how do you know?
We're having now.
How do you know this isn't my wife? Where's the little dude? How do you know this isn't my wife? And I didn't have the baby. Maybe I should be on maternity leave.
You guys will have beautiful little Smurf children.
It's just everything is weird. I can't, I know it's a still, but I can't get over
I can't help but laugh every time I see it.
The people's like weird arms. Well, I mean, here, let me turn the sound off. I know they're sensitive about the Olympics videos here, but like, just look at this weirdness. It's all, oh, don't even get, okay. Can we just be done? Okay, so this famous black woman, Indian woman, I don't know. Can we talk about the fact that she's black or Indian or a woman?
She's not black.
I thought since every company has established a DEI initiative, has a chief equity inclusion officer, and there were these unconstitutional and flagrantly illegal quotas, but they're there, whatever. I thought while we established all of this, that we all came into agreement that DEI was good. SEL was bad. They abandoned it. Social emotional learning. CRT, critical race theory, was bad. They abandoned it. But I thought we landed in the promised land once we discovered diversity, equity, and inclusion. And inclusion means everyone is invited, okay? I took the training, and all of that, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If that's true, man is the rational being. So my faculties tell me if DEI initiatives are good, if DEI quotas are good, then the fruits of those labors are good. And the fruits of those labors are DEI hires. Is my math not mathin'?
No, I mean, that seems reasonable to me. So, from what I understand, like DEI is a good thing. Not to
Yeah.
me, but like to them. And
But if
so
we can pretend for
yeah,
the moment DEI is
I'm
a good
just
thing.
trying to
They'll
get my
clip
brain to
this.
go there because it just doesn't.
Just
Yeah,
turn it down a
exactly.
little.
Yeah, exactly. So let's just pretend that DEI is this wonderful thing. Like, let's pretend I'm a liberal for a second. Let me get my cat.
I got props.
Um,
You got a cat. I got the practice of social research, which I read for grad school.
sweet, sweet. Um,
There's only one person. There's only two people of color on this. Look at all the people on this book. Only two of them are black.
oh my
Racist.
goodness. Burn it. Burn it. Burn it.
Okay, so we're in our happy place where we're
Yes,
pretending
yes.
that
Like we're
DEI
pretending
is
that
good.
DEI is a wonderful thing. Wouldn't you be proud to be someone that was hired based on DEI standards? I know I would be. Like personally, I would be thrilled if someone discriminated against someone who was black or Asian or Hispanic, and that if they completely like kicked out all of these people, even though they're probably far more qualified, I would be so proud to take something from them because I'm white.
Nothing wrong with that.
I know, I know. So why would anybody else be offended by being called a DEI hire?
I don't know. It's a fact.
Okay.
Kamala is a DEI hire in every sense of the word. She's a woman, and both of her races are minorities. And
Yeah.
sometimes she's repping Indian, sometimes she's repping black, sometimes she's got a mysterious Southern accent when she's going down to talk to blacks or Southern blacks,
Yeah.
which she would say Southern African Americans. They're not from Africa, but whatever.
There's something about an Indian woman going to Georgia and trying to throw out like a black Georgia accent. It's not working. But I mean, back in my conservative brain here, when we're looking at these DEI things and people like, putting out these DEI policies, they want every company to adopt these standards. They get offended, like what happened with Tractor Supply, when Tractor Supply issued that statement saying we're abandoning all of these DEI things and all of these whatever it was that they were doing. I don't remember, but they abandoned all of their woke policies and people got offended. They're like, we need these things in place. So then why would you not be proud of that if you were hired based on those things? But it just seems to be this pattern with leftists where they'll promote something, and then if you point it out that that's what they're doing, then they get mad. It's like, with this whole gender thing, when we're like, hey, maybe we shouldn't let kids under the age of 18 permanently change their bodies. I know, call me crazy, and they'll say, well, no, that's not happening. And then they also come back if you say, well, then okay, well, you'll be fine if we put a law in place, just as an insurance policy, just to make sure you'll be fine with this law that says that 18-year-olds can't do this. And then they're like, well, no, that's not okay. And it's like,
Why
so which
not?
is it? Exactly. It's either not happening and you're as appalled by it as I am, or that it's happening and you don't want it to stop. But then we point to all these people that are doing it, all these teens that have been affected by it, and they're somehow offended by it. I don't know how that happens.
I want to hire Representative Tim Burkett of Tennessee to deliver this exact same speech to Kamala Harris.
Ms. Cheadle, you said that the buck stops with me, and I agree. I don't think you should resign. I think you should have been fired. Ma'am, you are a DEI horror story.
I I would pay any amount if anyone can make it happen for him to say that line to Kamala Harris. You are a DEI horror story. Like, she's an absolute nightmare. Yes, you were given authority over the border situation. You said, come, 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 and then you said, do not come, which everyone has made a very hilarious video with going back and forth between Kamala and Trump. We're not going to play it here because it's a family-friendly show. But
I need to see that.
You were the border czar. Oh, have you not seen? Oh, I'll
Nope.
Yeah, it's dirty. I'm not going to play it, but I'm going to send it to you.
Sweet.
Yeah. It's not dirty. It's inappropriate, if there's a difference. Which is funny because, like, because this is dirty.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But that's totally fine and acceptable, especially if you have children in the audience.
Oh, wow. I haven't seen this. I did see it. I retweeted this. Anyway, Kevin Sorbo's Biden-Harris accomplishments. Yeah. We got 2 new wars, high gas, inflation, 15 million illegals. That's pretty conservative. That's...
Unfortunately, that's on the low side.
Yeah, record low test scores for K through 12. Yeah. Most unpopular president and VP in history. I don't know what you're talking about. 81 million votes. These are
lies.
Oh my gosh, I didn't put it on the show planner, but I got to ask you. What all do you think is going on with the election? Like, Biden's out, Kamala's in, everyone. I didn't think it was real because Obama hadn't endorsed. Obama's endorsed. It's real. It's a thing. It's happening. So are we electing the infamous political leg spreader to the White House? Like, is that what's happening?
Well, it looks like she's the candidate. So
She was in like open polygamous relationships in the 90s.
I'm not surprised. I don't know what is going on. I don't think they know what is going on. I don't think their voters know what's going on. And I don't think that they care. They're just to the point where anything goes as long as it's not Trump. So they're completely, totally fine with having to vote for a candidate that they didn't choose, that they didn't like, that they didn't select, that they had no say in whatsoever. But in order to save democracy, they're totally fine with this person just being selected for them to take over. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. My theory, I've heard a few people kind of say this. My theory is she's been put in there because Biden's approval rating was so low. And aside from the fact that he was a vegetable and they could not keep this man going. But they're trying to get the poll numbers closer to where Trump is to make it easier to win fairly, not cheat. Like, they wouldn't cheat.
How could they? Cheating's impossible.
I know. We have such a secure election system.
Those election machines, man, impenetrable. You certainly couldn't sit in a parking lot with an iPhone and hack into one of those. No one's ever done that and proven it to Congress and 2 different state houses throughout the union.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That is crazy talk. No, I've heard, they're trying to make it easier for the left to cheat, to make a much closer call. Because
how could they make it easier? You can text in a vote now. You can limitless mail-in voting. Like, how is there anything that you can't do?
I don't know. No, to answer your question, no.
There's a scene in Parks and Rec where Ron Swanson takes the turkey bacon and he takes it and he throws it in the trash and he's like, "Can I have another?" And then he takes it and throws it in the trash and then April's like, "Ooh, I want one." I feel like I could do that at the poll. Like, I feel like I could fill out a ballot, walk out the door and walk back in and be like, hey, I'm here to vote. No, that was male Joe Mobley. I'm Josephine.
No, all you have to say is,
oh no, your audio went out. I'm so sad that I missed that. Oh, wait, say something. See, Samantha has anger issues and she beats her mic against the desk when you guys aren't watching. She says bad things.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, no, I was just saying, all you have to say when you go in there, like, you go vote, you walk back in, come back in. If they question it, just ask, what name?
What? It went out right when you said it, but it's back. What? Say what? Oh, it's gone again. You got to stop beating your husband with the microphone. That's not what you're supposed to do.
It's not even funny anymore.
I know, but I still got to know. I can hear you.
I was just going to say, if they question you, just ask them why they think all black people look the same.
That is funny. No, that was worth it. That was so worth it. There's someone at some agency like screwing with us right now, and they're like, kill it now. No, that was worth it.
Okay.
Oh, that's good.
Sorry, guys, I will get a new cord.
I should 100% do that.
It's true. No, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Anything could happen at this point. So what do you think is going on?
Well, I still think who occupies 1600 Pennsylvania Ave. And if you're public schooled, you probably don't know that that's the White House. I was public schooled, so I guess some of us know. I think who occupies the White House is largely unimpactful on our lives. It's supposed to be that way. We are not supposed to have daily interaction with the government, especially big federal government. George Washington said in his farewell address, the benign influence of good laws under a free government. Benign influence of government means that the government is not a heavy burden on the citizen. The government's not breathing down my neck. Well, if you ever heard of a little agency called the IRS, then you're aware the government is breathing down your neck. If you've ever had a Terry stop, which is colloquially called a stop and frisk, and been questioned or requested to go and talk to law enforcement. It's not a request, it's demanded. If you don't comply, then they lock you up. Like the government is anything but benign. It's a heavy-handed influence in our lives. That doesn't change based on who's in the White House, but it constantly, that encroaching power and overreach, it's constantly growing. And I think it's about to get way worse because just like I've been saying, historians will look and say the United States fell at a date to the left of where we are now on the calendar because there were Romans in Rome after Rome fell. They just didn't know it. And now we know your empire was over. Like, what were you guys doing? They're living their lives just like we are. When the Civil War happened, people didn't think that it was a war. Troops were fighting, killing each other in the streets and then on battlefields, and people were picnicking and watching. People didn't know that this was really happening. So, side note off of that, without a doubt, I don't know who's denying this, but I can tell you as a vet, as a military historian, as someone who I'm highly credentialed and my research is deep in military history and homeland security and all that. World War III has begun. Like we're a good bit into it. Nations are rocketing each other. These cyber attacks are out of control. That thing that happened the other week, and people are like, oh, it's a security patch or whatever. They patched and it killed the entire world's airline industry, point of sale systems, Starbucks, telecom.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If you believe that that was a whoopsie daisy, then you're functionally retarded.
Yeah.
That it,
Yeah. As I've
we.
said in the past, oops doesn't work anymore. Like, there's no oops.
I mean, when you look at, we keep siloing everything. Russia and Ukraine have been pounding each other for months. Rockets, missiles, drones, tanks, casualties all over the place. And then you have this thing with Hamas, with Palestine and Israel. And there's the big flashpoint attack on October 7th. And then there's, I don't even want to say these little spats. These are actual military battles with guns, with tanks, with drones, with aerial assets. But the assassination is this group of terrorists. And if you're familiar with like military movies, when they have like the face cards, like this guy's the ace of spades, this guy's the king of hearts, this chick is whatever. All of a big group of those terrorists get together. And I got to be honest, when I saw it on the news, I was like, I know Joe Biden's like asleep right now, but if someone just authorized a drone strike, I wouldn't be upset. This opportunity is incredible. The fact, and I think the only reason that they separated before the Hamas leader was killed is because I know from firsthand experience that Israel has some of the tightest and most ethical kill, don't kill considerations in there in the IDF. So luckily for them, they separated and then airstrike. Like, we're so obviously in World War III right now.
Yeah.
But everyone's just going about, I go to work, everyone's just doing their thing.
Yep. No, absolutely. And I mean, obviously, I think we're all well aware that the world is in total chaos right now. I guess it doesn't feel like World War III because we haven't like declared officially, like, I don't know, made an announcement. So I don't know. I guess we just don't know what to expect, but it's like, well, every single country on the planet is literally like going up in flames and fighting with each other. So if the shoe fits, that's what's happening right now. And I think it's, and just as you were talking, it's interesting because we've been so focused on looking at Joe Biden and blaming him because he's so incompetent. And I think that's, a large part of it. Having a weak leader over the US is definitely going to embolden countries all over the world because they're like, they don't have anybody there that's going to retaliate against us. They don't have anybody there that's going to try and stop us. I mean, this man is half asleep. We can pretty much do whatever we want. He's going to get up there and provide some, really tough guy talking points, and that's going to be the extent of it. So I think that is a huge part of it. But at the same time, we're so focused on that. It's like, where else do we need to be looking? Like, and I say this about I don't know what to do with some of the global events sometimes, so I don't focus as much on them. But I mean, clearly, yes, we are in World War III. And clearly, these are things that I know, myself included, need to be paying more attention to, because I don't think it's long before it really does hit the homeland here.
I was trying to find something. Internet's not cooperating. Tim Pool did a thing. He bought every issue of Time magazine that exists. And when I heard him say it, I was like, this is just some stupid thing that a rich person does for no reason. But I totally get him, because I am doing this with like DVDs and other books, stuff that we have in digital media. I'm getting physical copies of because they erase history, like in V for Vendetta, like in 1984 and other famous works. But to have a tangible copy of certain newspapers, a tangible copy of all of Time magazine.
Interesting.
You get to see, you get to verify that stuff is hitting the fan thing. We have history books, so we know World War II started on this date with these events. But when you're actually there, it's not that. So even after Pearl Harbor, Americans still didn't know we are in this war, because we weren't. Yeah. We hadn't deployed troops. We deployed troops all over the world. We deployed thousands of troops to Europe. And we said, we didn't even say that we were establishing a beachhead. We said that we were we said that we were like securing some place. I don't know, protecting it. Not France. It was, the name of it escapes me, but we said that we were just protecting some neutral place. Maybe it was Switzerland. I don't know. But we were obviously sending troops there for the Normandy invasion. Obviously. Yeah. And it's so obvious now. But guys, within the last 6 months, we have deployed tens of thousands of troops to strategic locations all over Europe and Asia. Not classified. It's newspapers are covering it. Yeah. Oh, they sent 12,000 of 82nd Airborne, the famed aerial infantry division. Are you kidding? Yeah. Like my 82nd Airborne soldiers that I have when I was in the Army, in the band, they were the most hardcore dudes and one chick that I've ever met. Like one of them went through Special Forces selection course 3 times, and they denied him. He made it. He had like broke a leg or something, but he didn't quit. They actually denied him for psychological reasons, and I was like, yeah, I knew this mother was crazy. Yeah. So anyway, guys, World War III started sometime in the last definitely sometime in the last 12 months, before October 7th. So anyway. I don't know how we got there.
But I think that's need to know information.
What, World War III or how we got there?
No.
My question is, they can start wars for the purpose of uniting and galvanizing societies, which it does. And there are these factions splitting apart in European countries, a lot of infighting in France, a ton in England, and I'm not sure about Germany, but I would guess so. A lot of European Union nations, they have a lot of political infighting. The social factions, the young progressives, and the old conservative folks like us, because apparently I'm just 35, but apparently I'm a boomer. One of the things that governments can do to galvanize us and bring us back together is war. Mm-hmm. So 9/11, Pearl Harbor, I don't know.
I don't know either. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, good thing we haven't had a super open border where a bunch of terrorists who come through and,
Yeah, no, I know that would be wild.
Yeah.
That would be deeply concerning.
Bad stuff. All right. Well, we are 10 minutes out from the member only show, which is available for free. You just go down and click become a member at thejoemoblyshow.locals.com. You don't have to remember that. The link is below. If you're seeing this, if you're listening to this, then it means that there's a link down there. You can click on it. But yeah, anything you got in the last 10 minutes here?
Well, I know you had a couple of other stories on there. Is there anything else you want to touch on before we go?
I can't decide between, well, sure. I just thought that this was super interesting. Well, I thought they were both super interesting. Are we going FBI or JD Vance at the rally?
I will let you decide.
Let's go. I want to go JD Vance. I think it's just a little bit more peppy. Okay. All right, so a long video, just under 2 minutes. Here we go.
I saw the other day Kamala Harris question my loyalty to this country. That's the word she used, loyalty. And it's an interesting word, simplify, loyalty, because there is no greater sign of disloyalty to this country than what Kamala Harris has done at our southern border. And I'd like to ask the Vice President, what has she done to question my loyalty to this country? I served in the United States Marine Corps. I went to Iraq for this country. I built a business for this country. And my running mate took a bullet for this country. So my question to Kamala Harris is, what the hell have you done to question our loyalty to the United States of America?
Just off the top, just the energy here, the vigor in this type of speaking versus the limp noodle stuff that Biden and Harris put out. Stark contrast.
Yeah, it's their stuff is pretty depressing. So
I don't even think we need to finish the video, but yeah, decent question. Donald Trump puts up numbers. I don't care what you think about the man. He's built business after business after business. Everyone's always like, oh, what about this one? It failed. 90% of businesses fail. Like, miss me with that super poor argument. JD Vance, United States Marine, has gone to war, has sacrificed his body, his mind, his spiritual health. And when he said, I built a business for this country, and people in the comments will like get into, you don't just build a business so you're the man, you're the woman. Building a business sucks. It's hard. 40-hour week, forget about it. 60, 70, 80 hours. You're constantly studying, researching, trying to solve problems or come up with resources to pay for solutions to problems. You're dealing with a bunch of vendors. Like, building a business is the worst. It's long suffering. It sucks. You don't do it because it's cool. It's something that helps the community and ultimately the nation thrive. The government doesn't have a job. The government produces nothing. The government only takes. It only consumes. And the way that the government can have something to consume is by risk takers building businesses. That's how this works, lefties, if you happen to stumble upon this show. So I just thought that this clip was great. Like, I can't see in an honest election, I can't see this ticket losing. Like, these dudes are on fire.
I know. Well, I'm sorry. And maybe I shouldn't be laughing, but I mean, Kamala Harris is just like,
Oh no! Every time you go to tell a joke, it cuts out. See, it's back now.
Mike is a Democrat.
Your mic is a Democrat? Yeah, I could hear you.
It's I was just saying that Kamala Harris is out there like, I slept with a 63-year-old man for this country.
Well,
he's just the worst. But I don't know why this came to my head also. I'm sure that when JD Vance, because Trump hadn't announced his VP pick before the assassination attempt, did he, or was that after?
It was after. It's like a couple days after.
Okay. I was just going to say, like, JD Vance went to Iraq, but it's just interesting how of the two of them, Trump is the one that's actually taken a bullet. So,
yeah.
JD Vance is like, oh, damn.
That's pretty true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
so,
he called it out correctly. Oh, you know what? I lied. Okay, we got 4 minutes. Or the after show can just be a little bit late because we have to talk about this one just because I guess I missed it yesterday, but I saw it like this afternoon. And yeah, it's this picture right here just drove me freaking up the wall. So hard left turn. Oh. So this is, what is it? Angela Carini. This is Angela Carini. And she is sobbing here at the Olympics because she was just beat down by a dude. A dude everywhere except for on his passport, apparently. And you can have these progressive beliefs or whatever, but this is a photo of, you know how Ben Shapiro says that you'll get mugged by reality? This is a photo of reality.
Yeah.
Punching her in the face. She said harder than she's ever been hit. And this was a jab, guys. A jab is not a powerful punch, but that just highlights the contrast between men and women and our physical capabilities.
Yeah.
So she took two of these. She took two of these, and then she gave up. She resigned the contest. And I feel so many things about this, because she also went on to wish her totally female competitor all the best in the rest of the competition, which is hilarious because the dude's name is, it looks like I'm Manny, like I'm a man, a Manny Caliph.
Yeah.
But yeah, Daily Mail's got the story. Female boxer yells, "This is unjust." So she yelled, "This is unjust," and then basically collapsed to her knees and wept in the middle of the ring, which is watch it. I don't have it because we're still streaming on Samantha's YouTube channel, and YouTube's got like no chill for playing Olympic videos right now for whatever reason. So I'm not going to, we showed some images, but I'm not going to play the video.
I just posted a video of this on my YouTube channel. And as I was posting it, I had to clip out even just like little 10-second snippets of it that I had shown. So we're not actually allowed to share the clips. And it's interesting watching this match play out, because it doesn't look that severe. But she says that she had never been hit like that before. And this is somebody that is an Olympic boxer. So she's been hit before, like plenty of times in her life. But as we were saying, like, this is, again, the difference between men and women is with men, it only takes one punch to take a woman down, like there's a significant difference there. A lot of people are bringing this argument, and I do want to just touch on this a little bit, about Imani Khalif saying that this person was actually born a woman and has this like intersex condition called like hydroandrogenism, where they have like testosterone levels in their body that are almost to the level of a man's, and they were actually born with XY chromosomes. So I don't know. But I don't think that really matters, because this person like failed the gender tests to get into the world championships because of their elevated testosterone, whether they're a man or a woman. They read on this test, they were measured on this test as having the equivalent of a man. So
a dangler.
Yeah. So I don't think that argument really matters, because the same people that are trying to hang their hat on that situation wouldn't care if it was really a man, or, if they had an advantage that made it really unsafe for women to compete against this person. Like, that doesn't matter to them. So I don't know why they're bringing this up, but it really is unfortunate, because especially to make so many sacrifices to get to that level of competition, and then just to have it crushed immediately. And whether or not she could have kept fighting, I imagine she was like, I just got like my brain almost left the back of my head with that punch. Like, if I keep going, this is not going to be safe. And even her coach had told her and warned her not to fight against this person. So it really is just disgusting.
I was looking for something else, and the outrage just gets worse and worse. I was looking for a particular clip, because you can tell this person definitely looks like a dude. But while I was looking for it, Libs of TikTok, great account if you don't follow it on Twitter, says, "This is absolutely sick. Imani didn't just beat up Angela by punching her in the face. He also touched her breasts after he won. Predator." And I was like, okay, is this legit? But like, well, gotta turn off the sound here. Yeah, but he totally did. Look at this is ridiculous. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
What is the world right now? Am I like, the ref should just come over and just punch this dude in the face? Like, are you kidding me? Oh my gosh,
my God.
I've never been so glad that I don't watch the Olympics. Oh gosh, when is it over? If
Yeah.
you know when the Olympics ends, can you message it to me so I know when it's safe to go back online?
Yeah, is it ever safe to go back online? I mean, the things that you used to have to like, I mean, not that I've ever done this, but that you would think that you'd have to go find in the darkest corners of the internet are now just like in the daily news feed. So it's really, is it safe?
I'll never forget. I was in like 5th or 6th grade on the computer doing a project for school at the library. Like I was in the school library. I think it was 6th grade. I think it was at middle school. And I was looking for a picture of Andrew Jackson or Abraham Lincoln. I can't remember. But I had typed in either $5 bill or $20 bill and a picture of like, it was like Ash Jeeves or whatever image. And the image search was like all these like strippers, and they were putting like 5s and 20s like in there everywhere. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm like at school with everyone around, and I'm like raising my hand for the teacher, like, because I was like, they know that this is me. So it's like, I don't want someone to say I searched for anything else. I was like, I searched for picture of $20 bill or picture of $5 bill, and all of this debauchery showed up.
Help.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, guys, I'm in the school library surrounded by like we're here doing research for the internet is just not
Yeah.
suitable for not suitable for humans.
Right. It's really not. But anyway, yeah, that whole situation completely messed up. Really unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, and I have 69 viewers on Twitter. Come on, let's go to just one more or one less. Anyway, well, that is all the time that we have. If you're still here, then you are what's known as a fan. So like and subscribe to the channel. You can't subscribe on X. It's really weird. I don't follow me, follow Outspoken Samantha. Our handles are right there. If you could read, if you're black, ask your white friend to translate this for you and then operate this thing that you've never seen, according to Stacey Hochul. It's called a computer, and it opens the door to magic and mystery and apparently a lot of gross things.
Yep.
So like, share, subscribe wherever you're watching. I don't think I have to pee, so I think I'm just going to start the after show. So if you want to see the after show and potentially see me run out of here to potty a little bit later, then click on the locals link below, and that'll be firing up in just a couple minutes.
Awesome. Love it. As far as, I mean, please go to my channels, Rumble and YouTube, and subscribe in both places. I'm also going to try my hand at doing a live stream on Wednesday morning.
Yes.
So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully all of my technology is working, but if you guys want to join in for a conversation that morning, my goal is to pick a couple of things that are trending. I don't know what I'm going to talk about because I don't know what's going to be bursting into flames by Wednesday morning. So, but yeah, 10 a.m. Wednesday morning, YouTube, and if I can figure out how to do it on Rumble, I'll do that too. So, but I am going to start trying to do that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Do you know what time? We should talk about this later.
10 a.m. 10 a.m. Central Time.
Cool. Very cool.
Yep. We'll see how it goes, guys.
You can do it. Woo.
I know. I'm excited. I've been meaning to do it for a while, so now's a good time.
All right. So you don't have to travel far. Her links are down below. It says connect with me, Outspoken Samantha. It's got a YouTube and Rumble and Twitter and all of the things, Facebook. So guys, thanks for being here. We will see you next week. Same time, same place. I'm also doing live streams next week in the morning. So this won't be wine. It'll be coffee. And yeah, bye.
All right.